Lamar had gone back and forth about this, 'cause
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
Dr. Sebi supporter. And
Facts.
at the end of our last conversation, I basically said that, look, he told me how much in the black community Dr. Sebi is revered as an
Absolutely.
elder. And that's why he felt like the backlash around our interviews. And I could respect that. And so at the end of our interview, I said, listen, if you do believe in what Dr. Sebi's doing, here's the website you can go to. And, they have this one package for so-and-so dollars, and, you could order it. And then I remember after I did that, they were like, well, that's the wrong website. His wife took that over. That's the wrong.
Yes,
And it's like, I can't win. No matter what I do,
But
if I
that's
help
what I'm
support him, I'm doing a disservice also. So
I think that's where a lot of the conspiracies come from, and a lot of the inconsistencies in how to understand. Because you tapped on something very real, is that in our community we have a lack of leaders. So when you can find a man who was constantly trying to enrich, empower, inform, and heal his people, by any means, you know what I mean? He wasn't a dude that was about money, or even if there were people around him who were about money, he was never that. So when those messages get convoluted and clouded, the people who support him are going to be angry. So it's whether it's you questioning or even denouncing certain things when it comes to the medical field, or it just creates more confusion, or even you giving out a website to start, it's so much confusion. So that's even, my goal as I dove deep into trying to tell the story from, we went to Honduras, we went to Africa, we go all over the place to really just get the truth so we can lay it out there. And one of the truths that I found and has been consistent throughout the process is that this was a man that was just really trying to help his people. So whether it was through the African biomineral process in which he created, where really what he stated is like, you can talk about all the doctors and laboratories that all these chemicals are tested in, but they stole all our laboratories from us. They brought us over here and didn't bring our diet with us. They didn't bring our food with us. So how can you put my teachings and my understandings of the earth and the minerals that help build my people up for ages and say that these are wrong because your medical field says so? Like, that in itself, that concept right there just makes someone like you look like, oh, well, you believe what the white man believes, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's that process, because he's saying, I don't care what you say. My results is that I'm helping people and people are being healed. So through that process, I got to rock with him and I got to believe it.
Well, yeah, and I understand that in the black community, there has been some hideous things that were done by America. From the
Tuskegee, COINTELPRO, the list goes on.
You could go back to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was started
Margaret
as a
Sanger.
way, it was a way to.
We talk about all of
to
that.
sterilize blacks and Jews.
They literally said it like
That was the purpose of starting it, to try to get blacks and Jews
people don't
to stop
understand what
reproducing.
eugenics are, where they said they wanted to get rid of all the feeble-minded, and that the Negro people were lesser than, and that in order to preserve the ultimate race, they had to do away with all the others. That's eugenics. That's what.
Right.
That's the same thing that Hitler believed. Hitler got his blueprint from the eugenics that were created here in the United States.
Crazy. So I understand when a black man steps forward and says that America has secretly been lying to you and I have the cure and everything they're telling you is false. I can understand how people gravitate towards that because there's actual proof of that happening throughout history. I get it.
Absolutely.
But that should not be a reason to follow someone just because, there were a few of these instances throughout history. That does not mean that you throw out everything that has to do with modern medicine.
Yeah, but I'd have to take a step back, because I don't want this to be like a race thing either, because Sebi definitely wasn't all about a race thing. As much as he taught the African biomineral process, which was really saying, he's like, yo, you don't feed lions the foods of the gorillas. You don't feed eagles the food of the giraffes. That every species has their own food that allows their body to operate properly. So therefore, there's certain regions and areas where people dwell that they eat those foods. And when you start putting other foods in there that don't mix, or foods that become hybrid foods, because as we start to create all of these foods that aren't real foods, like carrots and
Carrots aren't real food?
they're a hybrid food. It's a food where someone on this planet took one herb or natural plant and mixed it with another one and created this. Therefore, you threw God off. So outside of the race aspect of it, it's just certain things as humans that we're supposed to put into our body. And when you do that properly, you allow your body to be that self-healing organism. You can defeat so many things, because then there becomes a lack of mucus in your system. And when there's a lot of mucus, then your body and your immune system is thrown off. So I think, as much as we want to say, because Sebi was all about his people, but he wanted to help all people, and he did help all people. And what he did, he just stripped down their diets and put them in environments to where their body was able to heal itself.
Well, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing the documentary.
We go deep, man. But I mean, it's just everything that we talked about, to that thing of why do we believe conspiracies, and then how does Sebi play into that idea, and then ultimately at the end, get into the truth.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
It's coming out soon?
Yeah, man. This is the funny thing, because I see online every day, people, man, where that documentary? I thought the marathon continued. You was just bullshitting. You was like, if anybody understands how films are put together,
It takes a while.
It takes a while. So it's only been a couple of months, and I've been putting my foot in it, depending on, also when you think about the timing of everything that you just said of all my occupations, this is one of the number one priorities on my list. But everything from all of the families that are involved to finding the footage, like, you don't know how hard it was to actually go and find the actual case. And it's thousands of documents. It ain't like, okay, it's like this, that we got to research and go through and understand. So it's not a small feat by any means, but my goal is still to be done with it this year. So it's but it's funny, because you just see the ignorance online, where even where people are like, oh, Nick Cannon's scared. He cancels the Dr. Sebi documentary because he's scared for his life. Like, come on, man. But it just you saw it just catch fire like that, where they say, like, a lie can run across the world 3 times before the truth can put his shoes on. It's so crazy that people want to believe the bullshit. Like, people love to be lied to.
Yeah.